Hey there traders, so welcome to another market update video. Today is the 3rd of May 2021 and I thought to chop and change it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is from now on the morning updates, I'm going to start my analysis from scratch. So you'll see that I've got no drawing tools on the chart. I've only got my indicators running right now, and we're going to analyze this chart together to see what we can figure out and see where this market could be heading next. So starting out on the weekly chart here, the fact that we did close above the 10 simple moving average on the weekly does imply that we have some further upside potential here for Bitcoin. So I do like that as a potential opportunity to go long. So the next pivot point would be looking at the last swing high of the weekly closure. So right there, that's the area I want to keep in mind, $60,314. So let's see what the daily chart's showing us around that level. There we go. We can see obvious resistance around this area in the market. So right now, we are currently on our way to go up and test that area. I do want to say this, we are seeing a drop in volume as price is moving towards that level. So perhaps this could all just be a short squeeze, trying to get all of those people that shorted from the top out on break even, take out their stop losses and eat all their profits back up. So we're still seeing volume dropping off, even though price is starting to turn back around and move up. But how long is this going to last? How long are we going to see an upside to this market before we see the turnaround? I do think this level, $60,314, is going to be a significant level to play a part in this week's price action for Bitcoin. Momentum oscillators on the daily chart. We've got our stochastic starting to run out of momentum here. You can see right now looking to start crossing to the downside. If that was to happen, we would be crossing, well, kind of in a neutral zone. Nothing really too big of a problem that I can see over there. Uh, Other than that, perhaps we could see a rejection from this trend line coming through here. Just use your imagination. You should be able to see it right over there. So that would imply some further upside potential for Bitcoin, like I said, before we see the next turnaround. So maybe that's going to push us up to this level. That's $60,314. And that's where I'm going to be looking for potential shorting opportunities. So now that we've got that area of value identified, I want to take potential trades from that particular level. So let's go and have a look at the 4-hour chart and see what it lines up with. And here we go. We can see the market structure that's been created from that level. So here's the thing. Now I want to see what are the momentum oscillators going to be saying if this asset makes it back up there. Well, momentum oscillators are all the way up in the bullish control zone and in the critical zones. So it's maintaining the bullish posture here, meaning that we are trending up. RSI is agreeing with that, regaining the exponential after a pullback. So all of these things are starting to look positive, but we still see a drop in volume here. So I do think this is going to be a bull trap. Just breaking above the 200 simple moving average, this white moving average, and having zero follow through on volume usually is seen as a bull trap. So perhaps we will see a short squeeze back up to this level to take out all these shorts at break even, and then we should start seeing a pullback in price a little bit more significant, in my opinion. Or, well, not significant, but a little bit of a deeper retracement than these small ones. I do want to mention this as well. We do have short-term and medium-term structures to keep in mind. We do have this liquidity zone running through here that is currently governing price action to the bottom. So it is the support level to keep in mind. Let's make it green. So these are my two levels for Bitcoin right now, currently. And these could change, of course. The market's dynamic, it changes all the time. And then there's one small little level that I do want to get in there as well. We can see it right there. It was a previous order block turned into a liquidity zone. So right now this is a supply zone. So one of two things can happen from this point, and it's a very simple and easy trade setup from here. Bitcoin can break above this previous swing high, accompanied by volume, and we can see a retest back to this structure with less volume. That's when I'm going to be looking to take a long opportunity from that level right over here. If that is not the case and my entry criteria is not met and we shoot straight through and we run out of volume up here, I'll be looking to take some short opportunities from this particular zone. I also do want to mention this, is that this level does line up with a trend line, I'm pretty sure. So let's have a look. Well, not entirely. So this level does not line up with this trend line, unfortunately. So I would say we're going to work on the horizontals here, just take this market level by level. If this was to break to the downside from this point, I will be taking some short positions, looking for this liquidity zone back down here to be tested as possible support. There we go. So that is my levels for Bitcoin. All right, so that's my trade plan. Break below this level. We're going to take some short positions, see if we can target a move back down to this liquidity zone. Break above this level. We're going to take some long positions, see if we can take a long position short term back up to this particular weekly close level. And if we cannot make it above this level, we'll be taking some short positions from there as well. I do think this market is taking a little bit of a bounce here, but this bounce could be sold back into. If we're looking at the overall trend, the trend has broken. It has not reversed 100%. Well, actually it has. Never mind, I'll reverse that. The trend has broken because we are now seeing lower lows and lower highs. And we have reversed the trend. As soon as this can confirm as a lower high, we can start taking those short positions because we are now seeing a low right there that is lower than our previous low. We see a high right there. And if we can see this as a lower high, we do have trend reversal confirmed. And we can look for much deeper prices to be hit to the downside, or maybe even just a back sweep of these previous lows right here. Okay, so that's it for Bitcoin. I don't want to go into detail on all these coins as much as I just did. So I'm just going to jump into the charts here and see how far we get. So Litecoin right now, a little bit of a bounce right here, very similar to Bitcoin. What is momentum oscillators telling us? Well, this is very interesting. So we bounced off the bearish control zone, very, very interesting, but we're already losing momentum. As we see the volume again coming straight down after this push to the upside. So what does this mean? This means that we are potentially looking at another reversal here on Litecoin, same as Bitcoin. You can see that we are still currently in an uptrend. We have not confirmed a lower low than our previous swing low. So that is a very positive thing. Right here, this was our previous swing low. This is our current swing low. This is our current swing high, higher than our previous high. So this market is still in an uptrend. So let's have a look at lower term. Well, let's go to the weekly chart first. And we can see that we are currently right at that weekly closing level. So I do want to pay attention to what the price action is going to be looking to do around these parts. Let's have a look at the daily chart here. And not really giving away too much. We can see that the market has rejected from this level once, twice, 3 times, 4 times already. So perhaps the sell orders have run out of stock at this moment, if I can put it that way. But let's see what the lower term time frames are trying to tell us here. So here we are, Litecoin on the 4-hour chart, rejected by this level first time right here. Currently retesting that same level. Do we see a drop in volume? Yes, we do. What else do we see? Do we see momentum oscillators in the critical zone bouncing from the bullish control zone edge? So perhaps we do see one more final push to the upside here short term. But I do think this one is ultimately going to be sold back into. We can actually start seeing the liquidity zones here forming right at this level. So perhaps we do see a little bit of a higher push for Litecoin here throughout the day. But if we cannot make it above this green liquidity zone, well, let's make it red. Above this liquidity zone, then I would be looking for Litecoin to pull back down to this liquidity zone we have running right over here, which also happened to turn into a bullish order block. So those are my two current levels for Litecoin as we speak, and any kind of break above this liquidity zone at the top would make me bullish short term, maybe perhaps even targeting a move back up to around $305. Any kind of break below this liquidity zone, however, will make me bearish, looking for a move back down to the very least to come and sweep these levels again around 245. So that's it for Litecoin. Let's have a look at BNB. So BNB still breaking to the upside here. This is pretty good. This is very, very powerful asset. Let's see what the weekly is telling us. The weekly is kind of giving us signals of continuation here, but it's starting to look toppy. Again, running out of volume on our way up. We can clearly see that as well. And I would not be surprised if Binance Coin does come back down to sweep these lows from this previous order block. So let's just see if it does do that throughout history. So right here we had an order block, came back and swept it there. Well, I actually don't think it's going to be coming back down there anytime soon. If we don't see any volume coming through, perhaps we will see it go way past this point. So the weekly chart's not giving us too much information here. Let's have a look at the daily chart, see if it's giving us anything. Well, yes, it is. It's giving us this liquidity zone right over here. And we can see that we have not closed daily candles above this liquidity zone up until this point still. So until we see daily candles close above this liquidity zone, we'll be looking for an entry at this level as a potential support structure. And we can target moves much, much higher. In fact, let's have a look at what moves we can target. So I'm going to go from the bodies of the candles and pull in my extension tool, not from the wicks, but from the bodies. And our next target can very well easily be all the way back up to $791 per BNB. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. If it starts breaking to the upside here, I'd be very confident in taking a long position here. However, let's see what the 4-hour momentum oscillators are telling us. It's not giving us too much to work off of, rejecting the edge of the bullish control zone right here. That's a very good sign. So again, just like Bitcoin, I do think this one has some short-term upside potential here, but I do think it's going to be met with resistance, and then we can buy those pullbacks. So that's what I'm going to be looking for BNB. Any kind of daily candle close above this liquidity zone and a pullback into this zone would be an opportunity for me to take long positions. Chainlink, let's have a look at Chainlink real quick. I'm only going to do Chainlink, Monero, and Ethereum. Those are the only two that I'm going to do after Chainlink. So let's have a look. Let's jump into the weekly chart here. All right, so the good news here is the fact that we are also currently moving right at that level, our weekly candle close right there. So I do like that. I do like that we're still currently pushing to the upside here. We don't see a lot of volume coming through from the buyer side. I want to see a lot more follow through. Do we see any kind of potential problems here? We do. We do see bearish divergence on the weekly chart, and not just on the RSI, but as well as meeting probably on the stochastics as well. So that could be a potential danger to the upside. That could be a case for the bears to be building there. On the daily chart, let's have a look. Currently looking like we could still see some more upside potential here. Looking at the momentum oscillators, let's have a look at what our moving averages are telling us. Indeed. So here's the thing. Any kind of pullback right here back down to this order block, I'd be looking at a buy opportunity for Chainlink here. So if this market can make it back down there, I do think we'll see another short-term bounce at the very least, back up to sweep these prior highs up here. So I'm going to remove that weekly close because I don't think it's playing a significant role in this particular price action. So let's have a look at our current levels on the daily chart here for Chainlink. I think this is going to be a good buy once we do make our way back down here. However, I don't see volume on this follow through. So again, momentum is showing up, RSI is showing up, everything's showing up except volume. So I'm very cautious around the trades I'll be taking this week on these assets. So let's have a look at Monero here, and then we can jump into Ethereum, and that's going to be it for this video. So let's have a look at what the weekly chart's currently telling us. Weekly charts way up there on momentum oscillators, probably going to be coming in to meet this trend line running through here, which has governed every single major high Monero has ever put in the market. It governed its 2017 all-time high right there, which, by the way, we're currently retesting as we speak. So we can expect some resistance at this level for sure. And then it caught this high right here at the mid 2019 right there. Then it caught this high right here. This was a short-term high, obviously. Then it caught this high right over here, as you can see right there, and it could be currently catching the next high. So now that we have an idea that this market could be overextended, let's have a look at the lower term time frames. On the daily chart, what do we see? We see no break above any kind of structures just yet. On the daily chart, we see momentum oscillators starting to turn back down here inside of that critical zone. RSI, major divergences being formed throughout this entire price action. So I'll be looking for entries based on the 4-hour chart. That's as simple as that. So just remember, we have cancelled all of our previous limit orders. So you should not still have a buy order for Monero. So here's where I would be looking to take some short positions. If Monero can break below this level of structure right here, this liquidity zone, I'd be looking to take some short positions, perhaps even back down to sweep these lows around the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving average. However, if Monero can break above this previous swing highs and be accompanied by volume, which I don't see much volume all the way up here. And we can look at this potential trend line as well. This could be a descending triangle that we're seeing here. And this could take some time to play out, but this would potentially have a measured move all the way back down. So let's see, where does this measured move point towards? It actually points towards these previous highs and that low right there. So we can see price was governed around this level. So that's very interesting to keep an eye on for Monero. Right now, resistance coming in right over there. So we'll see which way does this one want to break and when does the volume actually start coming and flooding into the market. Let's talk about Ethereum here real quick. Again, let's jump onto the weekly chart. Let's remove all drawing tools. I'm going to go ahead and say this is probably going to be a very similar picture. Again, we do have this trend line running through here, and it's currently meeting that trend line. This trend line has governed many highs, as you can see right there. So it has governed this major top right here, essentially catching the high before a major bear market in Ethereum back in 2016. Then it actually governed this ultimate high right over here, the all-time high back in 2017. It then governed this high in mid 2019. Again, it got this short-term high right here. It got this high right here, and we're currently retesting that exact same level, printing major divergences currently as we speak. So looking at what this market is trying to tell us is that we are most likely going to see some major tops very soon. So again, we're going to be looking at the daily chart here, see what we can see to potentially line up with our bias to the downside here. And the first thing I do want to try out here is see if we have a trend line governing our tops. And yes, we do. We do have a trend line running through here, which has governed the tops over there. Let's just have a look and see if we have anything else. Not really. So right now for Ethereum, I would still expect a pullback, and I would be very bullish on that pullback. This market is extremely bullish in my opinion, and any kind of pullback back into this liquidity zone, I would be looking at a potential buy opportunity, at the very least for a medium term or longer term swing perhaps. On the RSI right here, getting way up there into that critical zone, but Ethereum has a lot of room to move. We see it usually turn around after extreme bullish extensions around about the 90 percentile. So very easily can bump its way up all the way to these highs over here. So let's have a look at the 4-hour chart, see if anything is lining up here. We do have this potential order block running through here as potential support. If we do see a pullback into that level, we do see volume here. That's a very good sign. We do see volume on the 4-hour chart supporting price and supporting buyers. So let's have a look. We might be printing some major divergences here, as I've said previously. And we can also see that this momentum oscillator here, the stochastic, is starting to show us that a major move is on its way. It's brewing, and it could be to the downside. I am very curious to see what the 2-day chart is showing us, because usually the 2-day chart gets momentum oscillators very, very well. So we can see that it has governed the same highs that we were talking about on those weekly charts. So currently still has some room to move to the upside here. Very well. So Ethereum could easily still push a little bit higher than we've seen it already. I just want to see if I can identify any major resistance levels that could be potentially heading our way. So let's have a look at this extension tool. I'm going to go again from the bodies of this accumulation zone, only closing bodies. We already did meet our first target right over there. So the next extension could be pointing towards $3,337 per Ethereum. And then we'll reassess and see what the price wants to do from that point. I do think it's going to be sold off quite aggressively once we do make another high. So we'll be keeping an eye on this one. We should see some major signals on the lower term time frames telling us to take some short positions and look for potential major pullbacks. But in the meantime, we'll be trading long positions on Ethereum, looking for a pullback into this area, and we'll take some long positions if we see prices supported over there. So that's it for this market update video. It's a little bit longer than usual. I hope you enjoyed the information and the content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers for now. Bye-bye.